Hey guys, and welcome back. And I'm going to give you my thoughts about a animated show, which you can see from the title. It is Star Trek Prodigy. Um, and odd thing is, I was actually planning on giving my thoughts about the show after the first episode, which was actually a double episode, episodes one and two. Um, but things got in the way, and I thought, okay, I wanted to see a little bit more because the end of the this thing is when the ship actually takes off. So I wanted to see a little bit more and see them actually in space and compare it with all that stuff. So it is an animated show. It is supposed to be aimed to more towards the younger generation, more like kids and stuff. It is a combination between Paramount and Nickelodeon. So you have to get used to not looking like Star Trek, but comparing this um, to Lower Decks, I think Lower Decks is more for the Star Trek fan, whereas this one seems to be for generally for everybody, and mainly for children below the age of like I don't know. I'm not a kid anymore, so in my 40s as well, I definitely do love this kind of shows as well, but mainly because it's got the Star Trek label attached to it. So, Star Trek Prodigy, of course, created by Kevin and Dan Hageman for Paramount Plus and the cable channel Nickelodeon, and it is part of executive producer Alex Kurtzman expanded Star Trek universe. I will say one thing though, the biggest plus for me for this show is that the first season has got 20 episodes. Oh, sorry. First 20 episodes, season 2. I'm not really sure. How many episodes are going to be in this one? I don't know. But if it is so, then I'm actually happy if the every season is going to be 20 episodes. That's one of my biggest, um, you know, things that I hate about the current shows, that they aren't enough episodes. But I will put Discovery aside for the moment. Picard and Lower Decks is something that I really want to watch a lot more of. And of course, for many reasons, Picard will not be that kind of a show. I do hope that we're getting at least a minimum of 15 to 20 episodes for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is coming up next year. And maybe the first season might not be, but I hope the second season onwards it becomes something like that. Fingers crossed. Hopefully. Anyway, uh, my worry has always been that if they're going to put too much Star Trek on, and with two animated shows running in the same years, is it going to be a little bit different? What is going to be like? How is it going to be? I mean, I wasn't really sure about that, but so far I think it's actually been working a little bit. Of course, you wouldn't have this many shows without it, but I think they should actually stop with these and maybe wait for Discovery to end and then put another live action show, if at all Discovery does end. I don't really know, but yeah, I would prefer to watch something that's set after Voyager, which this seems to be after Nemesis basically, and have a new cast and crew that is more like Star Trek than we know. Anyway, fingers crossed for Strange New Worlds. Even though that's more of what I'm hoping that I like about Star Trek. The um, the thing is, it's a prequel series, and I'm not. I mean, even though I'm excited for it, I really want a show that's set after Nemesis. Anyway, so we've got the voice talents of Brett Gray, Ella Purnell, Jason Mantzoukas. They're all young, of course. They're teenagers basically. And Angus Imrie, I think he might be the non-corporeal life form inside that space suit, robot suit kind of thing. It might be the only one who's a little bit older. Riley Al Zachary or Al Zachary. Al Zachary is what I'm going to say. D. Bradley Baker, Jimmy Simpson, John Noble, Kate Mulgrew returning as a hologram version of Captain Catherine Janeway. She is basically the emergency training holographic advisor. Bonnie Gordon plays the voices the ship's computer. Recurring, we've got Jason Alexander and Robert Beltran who will return as Chakotay. Is he going to be a hologram version, or is he going to be the live, basically the real Chakotay? Um, And we got Billy Campbell as well. Akuna. That's good. So, yeah. What are my thoughts about the show? I like it. Compared with with Lower Decks, I love Lower Decks a lot more, but then I've seen 20 episodes of it, 2 seasons. This one so far, I'm a little because I don't like the lead character that much. I don't hate him, but I don't really like the lead character. I like everybody else. Yeah, the lead female voice as well. And so far, Gwyn. I'm not really sure about the two of them. I do like everything else about the show. I love the fact that Kate Mulgrew is back as Catherine Janeway, even if it's a holographic version of her. She is drinking coffee. That was a really good thing. I think everybody else is like funny and this thing. I don't find these two leads particularly funny or entertaining or something that you really look forward to. I find like I don't know, they haven't really grown on me yet, whereas the rest of the crew has. My favorite is that what is that, Riley Al Zachary as the Brickar, with the QT voice but the huge size of something that's made out of brick. And of course Angus Emery as Zero. Those two are my actual favorites so far. And then of course hearing Janeway and seeing Janeway's um, animated version. Um, so far, it seems like to be a pretty good show for kids as well as adults can really get into it. I think adults wise it's mainly going to be people who are into Star Trek, but kids I think might really enjoy this as well. There's a lot of color, there's a lot of animated brilliance, there's a humor aspect to it. The visuals, I mean when I say visuals, the animation is pretty awesome when they show the galaxies and all that stuff. So I think so far I think it's actually going to be a hit. After 4 episodes, the last episode I just watched yesterday, the reception says approval rating of 88%. That's only a few on Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic says 68% based on reviews from 4 critics. It's generally favorable, of course. Um, what does IMDb say so far? For me, IMDb is more indicative of what you can expect a little bit more. It's got a 6.7 rating. It's too early for me to rate it. As of right now, I rate it an 8, and for me, a lot of shows 8 means I really enjoy it. 7 is I'll watch it again. But there are some shows, some movies that I rate below 7 that I actually do watch a few times, but those are for maybe like nostalgic reasons and stuff. But 7 is, I'll watch again. 8, 7.5 is, yeah. And 8 is probably like a really good movie or show. 8.5 for slightly higher than that. 9, which is something on great, and there's nothing being 10. Probably just a couple of movies actually come to my mind in terms of 10, but mostly it is 9 or 9.5. As of right now, I'm kind of tethering on the 8 so far because that's what I feel generally. I'm looking forward to each episode. I kind of like it a lot. Like it a lot. And, overall, but I'm not going to give my rating on IMDb right now because it is actually kind of fun. To see this ragtag team of survivors from that planet escaping out of there on a wonderfully beautiful, highly advanced spaceship, and being chased by Gwyn's father, the great diviner. He is really full of himself, isn't he? But I don't know. It is pretty exciting, to be honest. But I'm going to hold back my proper review of it or rating of it until the end of the first season, when I get a better idea of how they're going to handle several other aspects of the show so far. And in fact, the last episode was pretty exciting. So I'm very optimistic about the show. If you ask me right now, I'd give it an 8. But I think it might even go better as we go on by. So stay tuned for more about this particular show and other Star Trek stuff. So I'll leave you now with live long and prosper. Take care of yourself. Stay safe.